Taxi lights can come on. And go ahead and I'm going to put the nav lights on. Everything else I think looks good there. Windshield heat is on. Continuous ignition is armed. And alright. We just need to make a call. I did know that there was, or I did hear that somebody else was coming in here a little while ago. Quito traffic, fine air 363. We're taxiing to runway 36. We'll take Bravo, Foxtrot Alpha. Quito traffic. Alright, brakes disengaged. Flying Mercury. Hello, welcome. Perfect time, man. Come on in. Boy, we are heavy. It's going to take a lot of throttle to get this thing going. What's going on? Parking brake, are you still on? No, you're not on. Some wheel chocks or something I don't realize? What the heck? Why are we not moving? Okay, that's weird. There we go. Mausers. We are heavy, heavy, heavy. Yeah, I tell you what, Flying Mercury, this is a heck of a bird. No, and Flying Mercury, if it was you that told me that, by the way, somebody really saved my bacon. I was flying around last time I came down here looking for Quito, not realizing that the airfield had actually moved and the default Quito was actually where the old Quito airport used to be in P3D. So I was looking for an airport that didn't exist, essentially. All the charts had the current location of Quito, but none of the none of the airfield stuff was there. It hadn't been updated yet in P3D. So the first thing I did after I was done is I went and just took a look at if somebody made the scenery, because I knew somebody out there had some version of it, and sure enough, Flightbeam had it. Oh, this may not be I don't think this is actually a taxiway, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get stuck, aren't I? This is a service road. Yikes. Quick, tower, look the other way. But anyway, I went and took a glance out there. I was not going to pick up any more scenery for P3D. I had told myself that. Yeah, I'm stuck. Come on, baby. But when I saw this was made not only by Flightbeam, which is one of my favorite airport developers in P3D, but it was also on sale, I just couldn't resist. So I thought, you know, at the very least, I'm going to be flying out of there again here soon. So it'll be good to have this scenery. And then again, as most of you know, I've made it a goal this second year of my stream to get down to South America a little bit more often, both in X-Plane and P3D. So this is actually the third trip already. We've made two. This will be the second that we've made in P3D, and we've made one also in X-Plane. Yeah, I'm sure that's what had happened. It was not happy with me, and I'm as heavy as you can be right now. But really nice looking scenery. I do have a little bit of a mesh from Orbix. They make a South America mesh that's kind of nice. It gives it a little spice. Oop, I'm at the end of the runway here. Let's get turned. Let's get set up. There was a guy that checked in a few minutes ago. He was about 10 miles out for runway 36, so we want to make sure that we're not going to get in his way. Oh yeah. The new airport's been renamed, yeah, with the exact same exact same designer. Yeah, that's interesting. I need to go back and check out the history of that a little bit. It's really interesting when these old airports close down. Oh, the real Quito. Yeah, well, as I look at well, just take a look at this, guys. I mean, first of all, it's like up on a little bit of a ridge here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it basically this is a little launching point, like a deck of a carrier, and then you're out into a valley, and with all these mountains, the wind, I'm sure, just rolls over and through the valleys, and yeah, I can imagine that it is a bumpy and lumpy ride coming in, but what a gorgeous little airport. An interesting place to put an international airport, but I guess up here in the mountains, there's not a lot of choices. All right, so let's just do a real quick before takeoff checklist, and we'll be on our way. Our takeoff lights. Landing lights are on, retracts are on. TD gifting the sub to Kenny Monster. Thank you, Titanium Druid. You are so awesome, man. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, retracts, altimeter. We have set altitude, is set heading. We are going to fly like an eagle, I hope. So we're tracking the Quito VOR 14.8 outbound on a 357 up here to Nagal, and then basically 356 on our way out there. Let's see. So let's make sure we have 15.3 set. That was actually one of the issues that I had when I was flying down here is, okay, yeah, that is set. I wish there was a way I could pop this guy out of the way, but I just can't. And then what did I say, 357, 356, that's gonna be the heading. 356. And then my runway heading is gonna be, this is runway 36, so actually I'm guessing it's gonna be right about that. Winds are 030 at, I believe, 6, so that's not too bad. Going to help us a little bit, which we will need it. And yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to try to make enough power here to get to 154-ish, 156-ish, wherever that is. Takeoff EPR is going to be 186. Laps are 15. And here we go. Quito traffic, Fine Air 363. Lining up runway 36 for departure IFR northbound, Quito. This is a fairly long flight, so the plan is to split the stream. It's a little over 4 hours flight time. If we're having a good time, lots of people here, we can keep it rolling. But it's going to get dark, and there's a lot of ocean between here and Miami too. So I may, just depending on what's going on, I might take it up the top of climb and pause, call that part 1, and then fire up part 2 about top of descent. But again, we'll play that by ear. I got to make sure I get off this runway before I do anything. That's no given. See how lined up we are. Pretty close. All right. Here we go, boys and girls. Welcome aboard Fine Air 363. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. $80 knots. $100. $20. There's V1. Rotates. Boy, not an inch to spare here, huh? Oh boy. That's about as close as you can cut it. You're coming up. Whew. I'm a. Ha 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 ha. First notch of flaps coming up. Well, it's going to be a long, slow climb up to 360, boys. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I have the payload maxed out. SimBrief actually has more payload in than I can actually carry, but so I just maxed it out, and then plus with it being a fairly lengthy flight, actually only half the fuel that this thing can carry. So we may have, if we would have had to have flown anywhere else, we might have been in big trouble. Had to dump some cargo. All right, well, up we go. We do need to intercept this localizer, so let's start a little bit of a left-hand turn. Just going to hand fly this while I get clear of the mountains. The departure is such that it takes you out this valley. You can see the large mountain at my 12 o'clock. We're going to end up going to the west of that. We're making good airspeed right now. We're actually at 10,000, so we're going to level off and gain up to about speed of 300 if we can. Set the autopilot. Heading mode is selected. And let's make sure we're gaining some altitude now. There's 300, that's what we want. Start the real climb. Just watch this VOR come into play. I think with terrain, we're going to go ahead and just nudge it a little bit more to the west. Increase our rate of climb as we're making very, very good airspeed here. Continuous ignition can come off. Lights will come off. About to go IMC, boys and girls. Big clear of the terrain. I can see my terrain radar over there, but I know if we can get ourselves up here, 12,000's just fine with what we need. I'm going to try to follow this valley just a little bit more. Alright, flaps are up, gear is up. Climb power is actually nudged a little bit past max EPR, so we'll pull that back slightly. Airspeed looks pretty good, actually a little quick here, but we will control that with our rate of climb. Potato, potato. Is that Air Force Proud 93 or something? Doesn't he say something like that? Yeah. Back in the old days, see the tower of the old Aerosoft. Oh, you can still see the tower there. It's right in the middle of the city. Oh, no kidding. So putting it on this plateau is a big step forward. Ah, crud. Oh, I'm chit-chatting with you guys. I flew through the VOR. Alright, forgive me for 1 second while I do the vector of shame and try to get back on that VOR. Like I say, things happen quickly. We're going to try to maintain 300 as our speed as long as we can. So I'm going to bring the rate of climb back to about 2,000 feet a minute. And the danger in this plane is if you get yourself back to where your airspeed is below plane speed, what I've found anyway, and I don't know if this is necessarily something that happens in the real plane, but what I found in this sim is that the plane starts to pitch and you actually can't put enough power in to get it to nose back over, and so you kind of are flying with this huge pitch attitude and you're only going about 180 knots. You're just not making any progress anywhere. Alright, 23 out. I do want to track this outbound here for a little while at least. We will pop on the INS here shortly. We'll be on the Uniform Mike 674 airway. We're through 18,000. So far so good. 2992. Airspeed's good. We're making about 2,000. Here comes the VOR. Slowly but surely. We're going to flip it over here to VOR localizer mode and chase that needle outbound. Let it get a little bit centered up here, because it does have a tendency to try to really overcorrect, and then you're flying the S turns until you get on the localizer. So we'll try to get it centered up here a little bit first. I think that's pretty close. Flip it over there. Through 200. And this is an interesting plane. It's 4 engines, but if a 4-engine plane can be underpowered, this is kind of it. This is a plane that is a very good glider, but it's not necessarily super powerful, and like the power to weight ratio, despite the fact that it can go a long way, but it's just not one of those, you know, it just doesn't have a ton of climb power, so you really have to manage the speed. So like right now we're at 300. I'm going to spin this guy forward a couple clicks. We'll probably get down to about 1,500 feet a minute. By the time we get up close to flight level 300, we may be only doing about 500 feet a minute in our climb. Kenny, I don't know, honestly, what the engines are. But they're just those, you know, little tiny little guys. I mean, and they make a lot of power, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a slow plane. It definitely has good top end performance, and it can get way up there, but it's not a climber. TD, you scored yourself a JPC sticker. Do you see mine? How cool is that? Ha ha! So you're going nowhere. So anyway, I find the climb out a really interesting phase of flight. I mean, it is anyway, but in terms of managing the speed, it's super critical. When I flew down, I think I was cleared to, or I think I filed flight level 370, and I was not able to get there. I had to level at, I think I leveled at 350 for a little while, and then I looked at the winds, and I decided 330 was a better altitude, but it just, I just did a poor job. Like right now, I'm letting that speed get down. I did a poor job of managing the speed. And I've also had times in the plane where I've gotten myself up to like flight level 300, then I'll level off and I'll build some airspeed, and you know, then I'll kind of step climb it up too, which I know is not what you're supposed to do, but it's just kind of what I've had to do. Okay, we're looking for what's my continuous climb here? I better bring it down. I'm over 186 right now. We're not exceed that. Huh, okay. So I don't know which one of those is more powerful, to be honest with you. I think an 8D sounds like it might be more powerful than a 3C, but I'm not an engine expert. I'm not sure about that. All right, let's see, what's 1,000 feet per minute doing for us here? We're still slipping just a little bit, or we're holding steady? Yeah, we're slipping a little bit, aren't we? Okay, well, let's just keep spinning it down. The one, I guess, benefit of having a flight that's 4+ hours is you've got plenty of time to get to top of climb, so there's no hurry. All right, I do have another VOR that I can work off of here. That's the Tamako VOR 114.0. Go ahead and set my heading mode again. We're going to turn this to 1400. See how close we are to being on track there. It's a little bit off. Not awful. What I really want to do now is I want to see if we can head to, yeah, see, we're actually a little bit left of course according to our INS. So the INS is a little bit more accurate than the VOR is even. So I'm going to just inch my way over here slightly to the east, and we'll let this needle come into play. So as soon as you flip over from radio to INS, that means this guy is taking over, and as you can see, we are 460 nautical miles away, about 66.3, 66.2 minutes away from waypoint 1, which for us, waypoint 1 is it's the VOR Tokumen. Is that right? TUM. Doesn't sound right. TBG. Where's TBG? Sorry, TBG. Might be looking too far ahead. Yeah, Tobago Island. So we'll let that center up for the same reason as we did the VOR, just so we don't do the S-turn thing. Alright, so here's what we've done. We've flown north out of Quito. We picked up the Quito VOR. We've got ourselves probably up to about right here at Mako VOR. We just got tuned in, so we're pretty close to this. And then we're jumping on, like I say, the Uniform Mike 674. And this is actually the first waypoint that we put in to the SIVA, the INS. Then we're going to come up here, and Arnall is going to be the next waypoint. It's a little bit of a bend in this airway, and we just continue on up north over Cuba. Avoid this nice little storm that's brewing. We're going to get to Fundy. From Fundy, we're going to go to Marathon, and then at Marathon we will be on the Debal 3 arrival into Miami, which, by the way, Miami has some ATC going right now, but I highly doubt that they'll be on when I get to their airspace. It'll be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning Miami time, so I'm not expecting anything out of those guys at this point in time. If they're on, awesome. We will definitely take advantage of that. Hey, Downwind Sim, how are you? Yeah, Papa time is taking a little time out. I've got Nama and Gigi running the shift for me right now. Yeah, let me sneak down here because I take the 6 a.m. shift, so they let me come downstairs for a little bit. Plus, he's worn me out already in about 3 hours. How did the revisit of the Bush League Flight Episode 1 go, Downwind Sim? I tuned in a little bit while I could on my phone with whatever 3G or 5G I could find. It looked like you guys were having a good time. PauseCon makes it, I'm sure, that much more enjoyable. That's cool. I'm glad you guys did that. All right, there's 300. Our speed is holding pretty steady. If I get down to about 250, what I'm probably going to do is just level off for a little bit and rebuild airspeed and just step climb it up. I'm going to take a look at my climb speeds here. Maybe I can nudge that up. I'm at 192 right now. I just got started, Downwind. Probably, well, my stream says about 39 minutes, but probably 10 minutes of that was me getting fuel loaded on and taxiing down. So, you know, maybe a half an hour. Okay, where was I going here? I temperature's down almost 10 below now, so that helps a little bit. And oh, actually I should be at 173, so I'm actually pushing these engines a little harder than I should right now. Uh-oh. Alright, so let's look here. Those are still in the limits. The speed is okay, it's hanging in there, 310. Let's take a look over here. Yep, my RPMs are about as high. I don't think I want to push those any higher, but we'll stay with it a little bit above the books right now. But my manifold air pressure is, I think I have that, yeah, I have that set to high instead of low, so it's going to be, there we go. That should come back down here in just a minute. Everything else looking okay, I think. Yep, very good. We get up to altitude, we'll work on the fuel management, which is another kind of cool thing that's simulated in this plane. And that's a lot of fun. ETA, well, what time is it? It's 9:30 your time, so it's going to be 12:30 probably. I've got at least 3 hours, 3.5 hours to go. I'm going to probably split stream it and just go to about top of climb here and then pause it and come back in at top of descent. So you know, but if you guys are up, I mean, whatever, I'll stay on and visit with you as long as you want. I also know it's going to be getting late here in a hurry, so and there's lots of guys out to go check out on a Saturday night. There's probably some pretty good events also happening there. I haven't really checked on that. Let's see. Pull the fantastic map up here. And it looks like there's some things getting ready to go down here in South America, by the way. All these little flags all over the place. Well, let's look at the U.S. and see what we have. A bunch of stuff happening on the East Coast. And a bunch of stuff up here in the New York area. What do they have? Oh my goodness. Downwind sim. That may be the next plane I buy, my friend. Might be it. Anybody know what's happening? What's the event up here? I know Mike Sinante, one of our virtual USA Flying Club guys, was working up here, but I can't for the life of me remember what the event was called. But you can see all the way down here from, you know, what is this? DC-8, Dulles, Reagan, all those guys are lit up. Philly, of course, all the airports around New York and Boston, Toronto, Moncton. Yeah, lots of great coverage here, even some oceanic. If you're looking to, oh, Light Up Liberty. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Mexico, Vancouver. So pretty good action here on a Saturday night. Oh, even a little bit of North Africa here. And some Germany. Hamburg. Cool. Oh, what do we have here? Hong Kong and Beijing. Oh, very cool. Must have a little event going back and forth there with some traffic. That's awesome. That's an area I've never flown. But I'm slowly branching out, becoming a little more international. This is part of that. Okay, there's our kind of our cutoff. And man, it's yeah, I gotta level off. I don't want to get below. If I get below clean speed, you're gonna see what happens. I may have already might be in trouble. Let me show you what happens. See how that thing pitches? And it causes so much drag that it can't build enough power to nose it back over. I'm hoping I caught it in time. And if the airspeed can just bump up ever so slightly, then we'll be in business. We climb back up. Boy, it doesn't look like it's doing a thing right now, does it? Oh, yeah. Here, the alternative here, by the way, guys, if you wonder what you have to do when you get stuck, it does look like it's coming up slightly, is you actually have to trim it down, and you have to give up some altitude, get the nose, get the angle of attack back where it should be. But in the meantime, you know, you drop a couple thousand feet and then you can climb back up, but it's definitely not ideal. So I let that go a little too much. I told you guys I was not going to let it get past 250. But all right, we'll just let it build some airspeed again, and we'll step up. We might have to do it 1,000 feet at a time, but we're pretty close. So we're already within 2,500. When SimBrief gives me flight level 410, I just giggle. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, I suppose you could do it, but in a 4-hour flight, it would take you 2.5 hours to get that high. I need a real DC-8 pilot to come on and tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure there's a trick to it. One of the things I read in one of the bits of one of the resources while I was learning this thing is I read that it's not uncommon actually for many of these pilots just to hand fly it all the way up the top of climb just to manage everything. But they can do that because the first officer is running the comms and the engineer is running the, you know, electrical panel and working the engines and the fuel, managing. Oh, hey, I know why we also have a little bit of a manifold pressure warning. We forgot to pressurize the cabin. That's not good, my friends. 360. Okay, so we do have some pressure here, so that should take a little bit of time, but it won't be too bad. Climb up there. Yep, you can see the start. So that should turn off here after a little bit. That's why I'm feeling that. Yeah, I wonder why where's the I thought this had the spot where the oxygen masks were stowed. I must be thinking about the Falcon. One of the planes I have has the oxygen masks stowed just right up above you. Why did this thing fall out and hit me on the head? Well, I hope you guys had a great Saturday. I had a nice one myself. Got to take a little road trip to the big city with my bride and came home and had a little bit of grandpa time. And now a little bit of flight sim time. So, good day all the way around. It's going to be a late one tonight, but that's okay. I don't mind. We'll let this speed build back up. I don't think we'll get back to obviously 300, but we'll try to get it back up to, oh, probably at least over 250 if we can. And then we'll just, you know, go 500 feet at a time. 500 feet a minute. We only need 2,500 feet, so we're, you know, 10, 15 minutes will be good to go. We actually had a skunk roaming around our neighborhood last night. I smelled it in the middle of the night. They actually are kind of cute. Yeah. I always worry about my dogs going out and trying to, you know, chase them off and then they get sprayed and then they come inside and they rub against everything and yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I'd take a skunk over a porcupine any day. I had a hunting dog that had a habit of not being able to differentiate well, or not being smart enough to know that what she was chasing was a porcupine instead of a pheasant, because they live in the same area where I'm at. And so about once a year she would get super birdie and be rooting around trying to, you know, underneath the bush, and I'm thinking she's gonna kick a rooster pheasant out, and I hear a yelp and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And sure enough, man, she would get them, you know, in her nose obviously, but try to bite at it, and so she would have quills up in the inside the roof of her mouth, and oh man, those are not fun days. All right, we are doing pretty good here. I think it's time. Let's go ahead and just, like I say, about 5 clicks. Let's just see what it gives us here. Maybe about 500 feet a minute. We'll just watch this guy here. We won't let it get below, too far below 250 this time. Yep, you can see it really, it's going to be just a little bit at a time here. And I'd be okay, honestly. I mean, it doesn't have to be 500 feet a minute. I'd be okay with a couple hundred feet a minute for about the next 20 minutes. And we'd be at top of climb, we'd be good to go. Slow and steady wins this race. I will be actually starting my descent before I check in with Miami Center, and I'm just going to be planning on a west landing, so I need to be at 14,000, which is what we have selected at the, just double checking this intersection. Just about had a mini heart attack because I pulled up the Cypress 3 arrival. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm way off. Duval 3. Let's just double check this again. And yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, we need to be at Duval. Sorry, at Weaver. 14,000 landing west. And then from there we will be further vectored by ATC. Alright, so let's see. I'm still trying to check on Starflies, see how it looks. She's loading. We may not have time. Something I can do while I'm waiting, start to put in some VORs here. Dolphin VORs coming up, Marathon VORs coming up. I think we'll do Dolphin 1390. We'll see if that gives us any. Yep, that gives us a little bit of a distance there, which should match up with everything we have. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna have to tune back into Starfly's here. She's got some other things that she's doing now, but like I say, always curious to see what other developers, their approaches that they use. It's fun to watch them work. I think I'm going to put in, just out of curiosity, I'll put in the Key West VOR 13.5 on number 1 here. So see how far we are from Key West. Marathon, of course, is fairly close to Key West. We actually, Marathon is an NDB. We could put in 260. Let's do that. Hey, there was some lightning. Let's just see if the NDB lights up here. So we'll kind of see what happens when this guy comes alive. We're starting to get a little bit of turbulence here. Don't have a weather radar on board, but we can do this.
1373 winds,
Look at the map here.
235. Actually, wind calm. Runway 28 right, quarter inch.
Yeah, just a little bit of a system right here.
Wind calm, quick land, 28
We
right.
might be past it by the time we descend. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to get a vector, maybe a little vector around. I think we're over the top of it right now, though. Just kind of looking here, just to double check. Layers on Sky Vector. Yeah, it's showing, for the most part, Sky Vector is showing the bulk of the storm has moved off to the east, but that's not what we're seeing out the windshield here, which is, generally speaking, your most accurate indication. There would be our vector if we wanted to go there. Just a little tiny cell. I just honestly think we're going to go right over the top of it. We'll probably have a little bit of turbulence, but we'll be over it before we descend here in 6 minutes. And then the only other thing here is just a little small kind of build up off to our west. So we're going to stay up here. We have to stay up at 360, even a little bit longer. We will.
Miami approaches. They will assign you the runway, but Miami's landing west, so more likely be 26 left or 27.
Gotcha. Thank you. This is 1937. We will confirm your approach. We appreciate it.
Bad news, guys. I'm out of tea. Better not divert. I don't know if I'm going to have enough energy to make it.
Alpha 1937. Just confirm, are you gonna, will you start your descent down to 11,000? You're getting pretty close to the edge there.
Stuff is really popping out there. That's crazy.
Copy getting that instruction from you, but we'll descend definitely 11,000. Alpha 1937.
Alpha 1937. Back when I told you cross Batoga at 11,000. That was your descent instruction to cross Batoga at 1,000 feet. So
Whoops.
just FYI for next.
Gotcha. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the I'll be coming to flight level 110.
Southwest 877, Miami Center, good evening, climb and maintain flight level 200.
Yep, just about past it. That should be just right.
JetBlue 1373, welcome to Palm Beach, exit right, enable taxi to parking.
Still may catch a little bit of turbulence, but
runway,
should be through most of the bad stuff.
JetBlue 1373, taxi to parking via Golf Charlie, cross runway 31 at Charlie.
Well, it feels good after 3.5 hours of flight to finally be descending into Miami. Kenny, thanks for hanging. You win the marathon award for the night, buddy. Not only hanging here, but a couple other streams as well. Better than cable, right? So just checking here. I think marathon, which is right after. So the fourth waypoint here is marathon, and then after that we're gonna flip it back over to radio navigation, and we'll fly this thing in.
Alpha 19er
7
turn left heading 120.
We'll actually use the marathon
to get you down before handing you over to approach.
I do appreciate it, Senator. We're going to be making a left 120 1937.
It's the Marathon ADF to help us out there as well. Okay, let's pull the power back a little bit here. This is one thing about this plane is it does not like to come down. And there we go. We're on to off towards Marathon. We're going to try to achieve about a 2,000 foot per minute descent. And we're going to try to keep our speed in that 250 range if we can. All right. Down we go. Down we go. Do I have a Miami? Nope, I have Key West ATIS. I do have a Miami approach. So I'm going to have to grab my
JetBlue 1373, thanks for the service and have a nice
altimeter here from Active Sky 29903.
Alright, JetBlue 1373, thanks. Have a good night, morning as well. Thanks for choosing Palm Beach. Yep.
Boy, we're getting close. I expect to contact me any minute here. If we don't have one by Marathon, I'm going to contact him just because we'll be into the approach at that point. The arrival, man, I'm getting those backwards all night long. In fact, I might just check in right now and just let him know where we're at here. Miami Center, Fine Air 363. We're descending 320. We're just north of the Fundy intersection.
Aircraft calling. Honestly, I didn't catch that call sign. Say again?
Yes, sir. Fine Air 363. We're on the descent. We're probably about 30 miles south of Marathon right now. Just checking in. I don't know if I'm quite in your airspace yet or not, but I thought I'd check in while you had a minute.
Fine Air 363. Yes, you are now in my airspace. Welcome. Let's see, score 4733, 4733.
4733, Fine Air 363.
Fine Air 363, radar contact about 40 miles east of Key West.
Yeah, position checks, Fine Air 363.
Fine Air 363, cross, let's see. Sorry about that. Cross Weaver at 14,250 knots. Miami altimeter is 29993.
Cross Weaver, 14,250, 29903 on the altimeter, Fine Air 363. All right, I definitely need to slow down, don't I? I'm up over 300 right now. Oh, doing some spring cleaning. Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Miami Center, stop at 712 with 10,000 for 160.
Oh,
American 19, or correction, I keep calling
I
American.
was up about
Alpha 1937, turn right heading
about that same time myself this morning.
Alpha,
I'm getting tired.
1937, turn right to 160.
All right, we are kind of losing a little bit here, aren't we?
Alpha 1937, contact Miami approach.
What's the deal here? What is the deal?
Thanks for your ATC. We're going to be switching 124.85. Have a good night.
Slid off of that.
Southwest 712, Miami Center, good evening. Climb and maintain.
Slid off of that just a little bit here. So by the way, after we get to Marathon, which is only in about 80 miles, is that right? Yeah, about 10 minutes. No, that's not even right. I think we're closer than that. Where the heck are we? Do I have Duval as my... Doing some weird things here. I'm going to go into heading mode right now. I'm going to go into heading mode right now. Doing some strange things here. We should be 009er. Let's get that set.
Southwest 877 cross Bairn, that's Bravo Alpha India Romeo November, and
I've definitely slid off a little ways here. My ADF is telling me that I am, jeez, telling me I'm right there. It's pointing right at Marathon, so that's not good. So that means I somehow ended up east of course. So let's just go straight north. We want this to eventually come back around so we're heading directly away from it, and then we can adjust off of that. The next VOR that we need is Dolphin 1390, and I'm going to put that in here. We had Key West in there for a little bit. 1390. 70 miles out. We'll be tracking that guy on a, let's see, tracking that guy on a 248 outbound. 68 inbound. So let's get that set here. Okay. All right, here's our ADF coming around. That's good. And we're using that. Again, once that guy is, once we're directly north of him, I feel like we're in pretty good shape. And at that point in time, we're just going to pretty well follow that northbound heading until this VOR needle centers up, and then at that point in time we'll be heading into toward Miami. We may get some vectors even before that. No, we won't get vectors before that because we have to cross Weaver at 14,000, and Weaver is on this approach, so we're going to at least be on this approach. Gosh darn it. We're going to at least be on this arrival, this star, until Weaver. So again, just so you, I know I'm describing this probably poorly, but I ended up out here somewhere. So I'm trying to get back up here so Marathon is due south of me, and then I've tuned in Dolphin, and we have this 68 inbound that we're trying to grab. Eventually we'll just intersect that, and then we'll head, we'll make a right-hand turn, and there it is. That's Weaver. 5 miles after the turn, 14,250 knots. That's the goal. That's the restriction. 299 I should set that already. Okay. We're going to easily be down to 14,000, so that's cool. In fact, I can start to back off this descent. There's 15,000. Oh yeah, we're going to be down way early. My math was not so good on a late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Still Saturday night where I live. That's okay. That'll allow us to level off, get our speed 250. And we blew right through. Doggone it. Blew right through the VOR. Rats. And there's our altitude restriction. A double whammy of badness. No, we're okay. Wait a minute, 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 wait a minute. We are okay. Looking at my Navigraph charts. We are fine. We are fine. In fact, we don't want to be turning right now. Okay, let's get level. Let's get our speed back up. Let's turn back to a 009er course. I don't know what that is tracking or why it's saying we are left of course, because we're not. We must still be a little too far away from that VOR. According to my Navigraph charts here, we are still in good shape. Get to 250 and we'll be in business. Alright, let's take a look real fast at, I do need to do this. Sorry, fuel tanks. We're going to just be on main boosters from here on out. A lot of extra fuel in those outboard auxiliaries. That's not good management. Okay, 250 is what they want. Let's put a little more power in. Tank valves closed, boost pumps off. Let's check our ref speed. Sky Vector, sim brief. What's my weight going to be at landing? Okay, why can I not find that information? Alright, we'll cheat a little bit here. 267 is our current weight, so we'll plan about 260, which will give us a ref speed of 154. Alright, so we'll plan an approach speed of about 160, a ref speed of 154. I'm getting a little bit slow here, so let's speed her back up. I wonder if I am, so in P3D every now and again I get this problem where we track the wrong side. No, this should just be the VOR though. I don't, 1390. That's what's in, 1390. Approach course 68.
Contact money approach now on 124.85. Have a great night.
2485. We'll see you. Fine Air 363. All right.
Just to confirm, you're going to the south runway, not the one that it looks like you're currently pointed to.
Uh-oh.
Second between her?
You're going to the southern runway, correct?
Roger, you're breaking up first.
American 289, runway 28 left. The left side, clear to land.
Roger, yeah, we're catching up now, 289, we're going to left side of American 289.
Alright, 1068, Juliet, Hotel 5, Tango way to the ramp, follow your friend.
Roger, following my friend, yeah, 1068.
American 87, read back correct, 26 left departure, advisory and taxi.
Alright, that does not appear to be
American 87, actually
accurate
better idea.
information
26 left
here,
departure, advisory and taxi on spot 9.
We're just going to
I'll let you know.
estimate it here. I'm about to stall. Wow, 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 wow. I may fail before I even get to my destination. Now, I even threw a bunch of power back in there, I thought. Wow. Wow. All right, come on, nose. Get back up here. Shoot. Dropped a little bit of altitude there. Now, let's get leveled off. So busy looking at my chart here, that's not good. Okay, let's get back up to 14. Let's check in. I'm sure the controller's wondering what the heck is going on. Flying Mercury, it's been one of those days, buddy. I'm hoping I haven't survived all the rest of this stuff just to stall out 60 miles from the airfield. At Miami approach, fine air 363. We're checking in 13,300. We're on the, let's see, Duval 3 arrival.
Fine air 363 Miami approach, roger, expect. Actually, where do you enter the ramp? Where do you park today at Miami?
You know what? Probably that south cargo area would be perfect for us off of 27.
Fine air 363, alright, expect ILS running 27. Miami altimeter 27 and under 3. I can give you the visual if you can see the field.
Okay, we'll program the ILS, but we'll give you a holler when we can see the field. Fine air 363.
Yeah, it's been on and off the whole night.
Alright, so let's do that real quick.
Juliet 4.
It appears that maybe we're kind of under control here. Let's get the information for the ILS. The trim out. We won't quite be at 14,000, but we'll be close. ILS 27, I'm going to need a frequency of 109.5. Oh, I see what he's talking about with those low clouds. Okay, 109.5. And the heading of 272. Okay, so there we go. We're just completely just going to try to hand fly this thing right now. And just see how we do coming in here. I do have the ILS programmed in and ready to go if we need it. Currently have, I guess my okay, that's staying on right there. All right, we're good to go then. We're just flying an inbound heading. We're going to get some vectors here in just a second. And I probably could pull the speed back a hair. Let's not stall out again like we did last time, huh? Alright, looks like we have the localizers. No glide slope yet.
Yes, sir. Navy 268, cleared to Homestead Airport via rear vectors direct. Maintain 3,000, expect, actually maintain 3,000 the whole way. Departures with me, squawk 3762, but I'll be signing off in about 20 minutes.
Man, it was nice of those guys to stay on this late. Wow, that's awesome. Appreciate that, ATC. If you guys are watching this, thank you so much.
Navy 260, read that correct. Advise running for departure for 26 right.
And a little storm right
Alpha
over the
1937, welcome Miami.
right over the runway.
On your left, go to the ramp, good day.
Roger that, Alpha Alpha 1937, we're going to be passing for D600.
I'm going to mess this up. Roof right, 363.
Turn right heading 090, descend maintain 4 bound.
Right turn 090 down to 4,000. It's Big F, fine air, 363.
Ah, it was close, fine air. Actually, it wasn't close at all. National Aircraft Army approaching the closing about 10 to 15 minutes. Been on for a while, kind of need to sleep.
Appreciate you hanging out while we brought her up from Ecuador, buddy. Thank you so much.
No worries, that must have been a long way.
Yeah, let's get ourselves down here. We are at flap speed. I am going to go ahead.
68, squawk 3762, 3762.
And we most definitely do not see. Oh, there is a little bit of the airfield.
Your choice, let me know what you want. Kilo 7 to this, rise right for departure.
Yeah, I don't know if I can call that field in sight. Definitely hiding. Okay. Runway 27. I think everything's configured. We're going to go down through 10,000, so let's go ahead and turn some lights on.
Flight 268, just so you know, Homestead Air Force is currently closed.
And
so
retracts can be on.
As you get closer.
I do need to put the ignition to armed.
No worries. Actually, I mean, technically you gotta cancel it. I can't cancel it, but I'll relinquish you later.
And a little bit of the airfield is in sight, but not enough, really. And you can see some of it. Or maybe that was an aircraft. But yeah, we're gonna, definitely be.
Attention aircraft, approach will be right back. I gotta close the windows before thunderstorm hits.
Oh no. Real world problems. Man, oh man. Trying to bring the power back to idle, and it just does not like it. We're going to go a third notch of flaps here just to slow it down a little bit. A little bit quick. And we're taking our sweet time getting down to 4,000. We have a glide slope and a localizer.
Navy 260, flying 270 running to the dry clear of takeoff, wind 2504.
Flying Mercury, you got to hear all of the bells and whistles tonight.
approach, American 87, hold short, November 7, ready to taxi 26 left. American 87, line 2, left taxi, bye-bye. 26 left, American 87.
Alright, 6,000. And we'll probably get bumped down to 3,000 in the turn here, but we'll plan on leveling off, trying to get our speed around 160 or so. There's some turbulence. 1,000 to go.
New 268 rear contact, maintain 3,000. Rear contact climb to 3,000. Turn left heading 180.
There's about 4,000.
Finer 363. Turn left heading 280. Descend maintain 3,000. Vectors for reapproach.
Left turn 280 down to 3,000. Fine Air 363. 280 and 3. Let's mind our speed first here.
American 87, fly heading 0, fly heading 270, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, 26 left, fly heading 270, American 87.
Yeah, speed's dropping, dang it. Come on. Don't you dare stall out on me again. Come on, you dirty dog. Oh boy, this is going to be close, guys. I am almost stalling. There it comes. Alright. Down to 3,000. Goodness sakes.
Fire 363, continue to left turn. You can turn left heading 240 to join the runway 27 localizer.
Alright, left turn 240 to join the localizer. Fine Air 363. Alright. Yep, I am not a fast turning bird here, so.
Actually, looks like you're right on the localizer right now.
Alright.
American 87, radar contact, sea altitude 1100.
Oh, okay. That is certainly not what localizer's been funky all day long. What the heck?
240. Turn left heading 240, climb maintain 16,000, American 87.
I think I might have slid through it just a little bit here, guys. I'm trusting my needles, although they haven't been too accurate here.
Maybe 268 to,
oh, I've got the field in sight. Thank you, Lord. Okay.
Top clock, 900 miles report site.
That makes it that much easier. There's runway 27. And I will use my glide slope
260 IFR
to help us out here as well. We're a little quick. I have one more notch of flaps to go. Yes, I do. And I need to go gear down here. Go gear right now.
Fire 363, 2.5 miles from Sarko, maintain 3,000 to establish clear to Alice, running 27 approach, running 27 clear land.
Maintain 3,000 till established, cleared ILS 27 approach. Fine Air 363. Alright, gear down 3 green.
American 87, contact landing center 135.17.
And final notch of flaps coming in.
3517, sir.
Still a little bit
American 87.
below the glide slope here. I'm supposed to maintain 3,000 till established, and I did not do a very good job of that. Lights are on. Flaps full. Gear down 3 green. Build sight. Runway is clear. That's telling me I'm 500 feet too low. Airspeed is pretty good, although dipping down maybe a little bit. Now it's a little slow. Ballpark. Nobody does night lighting in P3D like Latin VFR. I can tell you that. Fly Tampa is probably a close second, but I tell you what, this is a really well lit airport, and this is an old version of Latin VFR's Miami.
Pioneer 363, wind 2504, runway 27, clear land.
Cleared land runway 27, Pioneer 363. I actually think if we were gonna put a Fine Air cargo spot, it would be on the north side, but the original cargo location is that's actually no longer a part of this airport. So we're just gonna go straight in. Look at how my VOR never did come in. That is wild. I wonder what's going on there. That's really weird. Thank goodness the clouds lifted. Alright, on the glide, speed looks good. Remember, we're going to be a little bit heavy, so we're going to be a little bit long on the rollout. Maybe even a little bit long on the flare. Try not to break the landing gear. Alright, reversers engaged. Slid off to the right a little bit. Not going to get this high speed. Manual braking. Looks like I'll get the next one though. And welcome to Miami, everybody.
363, are you cleared into the ramp?
Hanging a right, and we'll just take it into the ramp here. Fine Air 363 again. Thanks for staying up late, man. Appreciate it.
Pioneer 363, taxi ramp by Tango 4. Have a good night. We're all signing off.
Tango 4, we'll catch you next time, buddy. Alright, I gotta figure out where the heck I'm at. Kenny maybe I've just been landing planes that are too small, my friend. That really wasn't half bad. Considering everything else, that wasn't half bad. All right, Tango 4. Everybody's signing off. I feel...
Special aircraft, Miami approach is not closing. Miami Center is also closing, so don't talk to him. Miami unit come 1-2.8, good day.
2280, we'll go over there.
See you.
And we just have to kind of go straight across here to the cargo area. So I'm not too worried about that. But let's put the taxi lights on. And we'll start our way in here. We can turn our terrain radar off. We don't need that anymore. Kenny, Flying Mercury, Downwind Sim, if you're still here, you guys were the stalwarts tonight. You hung out with me the whole night. I appreciate it. What an adventure. A little bit of everything tonight, but I'm glad you hung out with me. Had a few new friends come along as well, which was awesome. Always fun to make new friends here and fun to get in the DC-8. I don't do the tube liners often, but when I have a chance to get in one of these vintage planes from time to time, it's well worth it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next up on the stream, by the way, Tuesday night, I will actually be in the scenery making shop. Kind of doing something similar to what our friend Starflies was doing. I'm not even close here. Holy cow. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. I'm going to be working on some scenery for the next episode of Nowhere Fast, which coincidentally is the very next Thursday. So I will be in making some scenery and doing that thing on Tuesday night. Then, this time next week, by the way, we're getting almost out of the May, which is crazy, but Cal Scream XX is going on. We're going to hop in the Zevo 737, and we're going to fly a Southwest Airlines route from San Diego to Sacramento. And so looking forward to that. That's an event that came up last year, but I wasn't able to do it. So we've got a flight booked and should be a lot of fun. That's a departure at 3:45 Pacific Daylight Time. So a little bit of a funky departure time there, but should be tons of fun. Maybe I could dominate the L1011. I need to get back in that L1011. It's been a little while. Last time I was in it, though, it went very well, and I had a lot of fun. But anyway, that is going to do it for me, and I am going to, gosh darn, there's only 5 of us here, but why don't we go over? Let's raid Starflies, just so we can kind of finish seeing what she's working on and give her a little bit of Melvin Leroy love. If you guys are out of here, I understand, but we'll catch you definitely next time. Come watch me make some scenery on Tuesday, and until then, take care. God bless.